Okay, so we just started the live stream here to watch the figure humanoid robot sort packages. It's at 5,707 and it's been going on for about 4 hours. So this is our first live stream here. So if you have any questions, once we get some people in the group here, in the chat, go ahead and ask some questions. I actually work in robotics. As you can see, I worked on this project behind me. This was a factory that built homes, and it's here in, it's called Autovol, and it's 56 robots that build modular homes. And so I spent about 1.5 years filming that. So you can go ahead and ask me any questions if you have in the chat, and we're going to be watching the robot here perform some tasks. And so this is the figure version 3 humanoid robot, and it's fully autonomous. It operates using Figure's Helix platform. So nobody is teleoperating the robot right now. It's acting on its own. And so basically what it's doing is just putting the labels down and just sliding them over, and it's doing pretty good. It does every once in a while miss one, but it's pretty rare. Some will fall on the floor every once in a while, but considering how much work is being done there, and for the fact that they're actually going live for 8 hours straight, it's pretty incredible. This is actually, you don't see this often, a humanoid company doing work live, showing the public for this long, because a lot of times they're still not ready. They're falling over, they're teleoperated, they're not fully autonomous, and so to see this live is pretty incredible. So if you're in the room, feel free to chat. We'll wait till we get a few people in here. So just a little intro on who I am. My name's Peter, and if you go over to LinkedIn, I post every day on robotics and humanoids and the latest technology. And so I've been working in the robotics field for about 10 years now, specifically in marketing. So they're gonna go to 8 hours. They're gonna work for 8 hours straight. And so the battery doesn't last that long. So it does need to switch. So they'll rotate shifts with different humanoids. And I'm going to say right now, Figure is probably the most advanced humanoid in the US as of now. Tesla, we're still waiting on version 3. We want to see what the capabilities of what version 3 will do. But right now, Figure is just hitting it out of the park with their autonomy. It's pretty much the only one that can act fully autonomous like this without any teleoperators or remote control operators behind it. And so nobody is operating it right now. This is fully autonomous using their Helix model. Say hi if you're in the room. So who thinks this is teleoperated? Anybody in the room thinks this is teleoperated? Somebody's controlling it? So this is version 3. We haven't even seen version 4 yet, but Brett Adcock was teasing a version 4, which will be coming soon. So we can only imagine the capabilities that one's going to have. So it's just amazing seeing the packages and how it's sorting everything. It's fully autonomous. It's just turning them over to put the labels down on the conveyor so that they can be scanned properly. Right, if you're in the room, feel free to say hi. I want to curious who's here. Yeah, so this is the first 8-hour non-stop live broadcast of Figure's version 3 humanoid robot working non-stop for 8 hours. And it is not being remotely controlled. It is not teleoperated. It's fully autonomous. It uses their own in-house created AI called Helix. And many people think it's being teleoperated, but it's fully acting on its own right now. Fully autonomous. So how does everyone feel about seeing this robot do everyday tasks that we can do? So we're at close to 6,000 packages. So 6,000 packages sorted by a humanoid robot. Okay, so it looks like it's switching out, potentially to batteries running low, and so the next worker's coming online. There you can see the next one in the background walking towards the conveyor, preparing the next task. So that's the main thing, is the battery life. It has a 5-hour runtime. So the height is 5 foot 8 inches, and it weighs about 61 kilograms. It can lift about 20 kilograms. And of course, when it's doing work like this, it's probably not going to last as long. So it's going to need to switch out, and they definitely don't want the battery going out on a live broadcast. This is pretty bold to put your tech out there and have it work for 8 hours straight on a live stream. $5,934 packages, and it took 4.5 hours. So I wonder how many packages a human can do in this same time. Let's see if we can get an idea. Okay, so according to AI, which you can trust with a grain of salt, it says a person typically sorts between 200 and 400 packages per hour, depending on the size. So we'll go with the average estimate. It says 1,237. That feels a little low. So I'd be curious to hear from someone who works in one of these centers if they have an idea. So we're witnessing the future here. That's right, it's unfolding right now. Yeah, I feel like I'd be able to do that much faster. Like 2 to 3 times faster. But don't get me wrong, they're going to speed up. This is just the beginning. wait another year, 2 years, and we'll see these things moving twice, 3 times as fast. If you're in the chat, say hi. I want to see who's here. Let's see here. So what do y'all think of this? So they still have another 3.5 hours to go. So at this rate, they're going to turn about 12 to 14,000 packages. Or you could see every once in a while one will fall off, or it won't actually turn it with the label down, but it's very rare. Something happened here, some sort of glitch or a recalibration. But they usually fix themselves pretty fast. Doesn't take too long. Great, if you all have any questions. My name's Peter, and I do work in the robotics industry. Be the first to say hi. So this is one of the most impressive demos that we've seen, in my opinion, on humanoid robots. A full 8-hour live broadcast work shift. The issue is most of these robots are remote controlled, and so they can't claim full autonomy. But Figure, on the other hand, they have their own AI that they built internally, and it's called Helix. So this is working fully autonomous right now. No teleoperation. I expect we're going to start seeing more of these live broadcasts. If this goes well for them, customers are going to be lining up at the door. So basically what it's doing is just reorienting the packages so that the label faces down. And there you saw one missed. Every once in a while it does miss. But for the most part, it's doing really well. So I think by the time it's done, it's actually going to be more around 11,500 packages. Around there, maybe. I'm curious who works in a logistics center sorting mail. I want to know how long or how many packages humans can do in the same amount of time. Recalibration or changing batteries? Let's see. So I'm going to be doing more of these robotics live broadcasts. This is actually the first one. I thought it'd be a good moment to start. In the future, I'll have my better mic hooked up so you can hear me much more clearly. It's actually pretty entertaining to watch, believe it or not. Maybe it's because you want to see it fail for some reason, I don't know. So what do y'all think of this? Are you ready for the robots to take your jobs? Some people are. So you can see it, it'll miss it, but then it'll grab it again. It'll try reaching for it again once it does. $6,300. Someone made a good point, mistakes counter. That would be interesting to see how many mistakes as well. Humans watching robots working. Let me do something here. So how many packages could you sort in 8 hours? What do you think? Okay, I just added a poll to see, does this excite you or scare you? So we're watching the figure version 3 humanoid robot sort packages, and what it's doing is putting the label face side down. It's going to be working for 8 hours straight, non-stop, and every once in a while it'll switch out between robots once the battery gets low. So someone made a comment that humans can do this 4 times faster with way less mistakes. I don't know how accurate that is, but I think it could be done 2 to 3 times faster at least. But keep in mind, this is still the beginning stages. In about 2 years, maybe sooner, these things are going to be moving like 2 to 3 times faster, I'd say. It's still pretty impressive. This is just stage 1. Wait until the tech just improves. Remember that Will Smith AI comparison video with the spaghetti? Look at it now. And for those who don't know, this is not teleoperated. It's not remote control. It's fully autonomous. They've developed their own AI called Helix. All right, everybody, so we are live. If you're in the room, go ahead and say hi, ask any questions. I do work in the robotics field. As you can see, I spent 1.5 years at this project behind me, and I've been in the robotics industry for about 10 years now. I specifically work with companies like this doing marketing. So we're just sitting here watching the Figure version 3 humanoid robot sort packages in a warehouse, well, at their headquarters. That's missing. It's trying to grab it there. That one took quite a bit of time. Not bad though. Considering they're not getting tired and they're working non-stop without any breaks. So who of you think that this robot is autonomous, or is somebody teleoperating it with remote control? So this is the first 8-hour broadcast that Figure's done live, where they're showcasing to the world their robots working autonomously without remote control. It's a pretty bold move to put their tech out there in front of everyone, considering it could just stop working at any moment. If this is a success, customers are going to be lining up at the door. We're going to see just an explosion of new partnerships and collaborations. It's a pretty big deal. Yeah, someone says a year from now he'll be juggling them while doing backflips. Sounds about right. The rate these things are moving. Okay, someone's been watching for 5 hours straight. It's actually pretty entertaining to watch. I think this is an enjoyable live broadcast. Okay, so I just fixed the poll actually. Asking, does this excite or terrify you? Go ahead and click in the poll there. I want to see who's excited about the future of robotics and who is absolutely terrified. If you're in the chat, go ahead and say something. I'm curious who's in here. Somebody asked, is it faster than human? I don't think so, not yet. I think a human can do this about 2 to 3 times faster, maybe 4 times faster. It would be curious to know how many packages humans could do in 8 hours. Yeah, so Figure is based in Sunnyvale, California. And this is version 3 of their humanoid. If I recall, it claims to have a 5-hour battery life, but when it's doing non-stop work like this, I'm not sure how that affects it. And they're talking about version 4. So this is version 3. They're going to be teasing version 4. I'm not sure when that is, but it's coming soon. Yeah, I put my link to LinkedIn. You can connect with me there. So I post daily on robotics and humanoids. We hit about 24 million people per year. Yes, this is 100% fully autonomous, not being remote controlled. So we're at 6,795 packages, 5 hours. It's going to go on for 3 more hours. All right, so what's happening is once the battery gets depleted, you see the ones in the background, they're charging right now. And this one will go to the charging dock, start charging. The other one will come out, take its place. Battery life is around 5 hours, but I'm sure they don't want anything to go wrong, so they're probably switching out before the end of battery life. It'd be a disaster if something went wrong on their first 8-hour live broadcast. But they must feel pretty confident to be doing this for 8 hours straight. So it must be working pretty well. It's pretty impressive. And so what it's doing basically is just turning the packages over, placing all the labels face down. Every once in a while you'll see some fall on the floor, or the label will still be faced up, but it's not that rare. Someone is asking, is it human control? It is not human control. This is fully autonomous. So Figure created their own in-house AI called Helix. So typically what you see is humanoids are teleoperated or remote controlled. Many of them don't have autonomous capabilities yet. There are also companies like Field AI, Skilled AI. They're working on the autonomous brain. So it's a brain, sort of like a third-party adapter that you can integrate into the humanoid. And they work on various platforms like industrial robots. They work on autonomous cars. So certain companies are developing brains for certain industries. Overland AI is for defense. There's Scout AI, which is also for defense. Carnegie Robotics does this. But these companies develop the brain, which can be integrated onto the robot. Okay, I'm going to play a little video here. It's a short video. It explains. It's just a fun video about teleoperation. So let me get this started.
Oh, it's pouring coffee all on its own. That's incredible.
A fully autonomous robot working for us. This is the future. Fully autonomous and here to serve you.
Wow.
Go, fast latte pour.
It's pouring the milk. Look at
Lag
that.
is killing me.
What'd you do?
Hey, wait a minute. They're controlling the robot. Why don't they tell anyone?
It's so much better when they just know. The integration is nearly complete. This will give the robot full autonomy. It can now handle real-world tasks.
In homes, factories, and construction sites.
Precisely, a new era of robotics.
They did it. The robots are fully autonomous now.
Yeah, no more need for us teleoperators.
What are we supposed to do now?
I don't know, just sit here, I guess. Hey, I got something for you. It's the Atlas. I want you to have it. Wow, thank you, man. This means a lot. Look at this. We're managing an entire fleet of them now.
I can't believe it.
Turns out the robots created opportunities that we never even imagined.
The truth about humanoid robots is that most are teleoperated. They still need the final intelligent brain for true autonomy. Companies like Boston Dynamics, Field AI, and Bedrock Robotics are building this now.
All right, we're back. So that video just demonstrates how the robots still need a brain. Okay, I am back here. I had to step away for a minute. So we're at 7,377 packages. 5 hours and 38 minutes. Uh, 5 hours and 38 minutes. Okay. So basically we're watching the version 3 figure humanoid sort packages at their headquarters in Sunnyvale, California. This is the first time they broadcast a live 8-hour stream like this, showing it doing work autonomously, without a remote control, without any teleoperators, but working fully autonomous using their own AI model that they built in-house. It's called Helix. So the battery time on these humanoids runs about 5 hours per robot, but I'm guessing that they're not running the full battery on each robot for this live stream. They probably don't want anything going wrong. And so what'll happen is, after a few hours, one of the robots you see in the background, they will step out, and this one will go and dock itself and start charging. It's pretty impressive to see. It gets almost every single one of them. Every once in a while, you'll see a box fall on the floor, or the label's not being placed down on the conveyor, and instead they'll be upright. It'll miss it, but it's very rare. It's pretty impressive to see. Excuse me. So my guess, if this is successful, customers are going to be lining up for this thing. If it can work a full 8-hour shift like this with just very few mistakes. One thing that would have been good to see is a mistakes counter, so we can count the mistakes it makes. But you know, humans make mistakes too. Maybe not as many, but it's only going to get better from here on out. This is just the beginning. Give it another 2 years and these things will be flying. The speed will be so fast. And so this is version 3. They are apparently preparing to announce or tease version 4. So this is the version 3 model. So you can only imagine the capabilities version 4 will have. So I put a poll in the chat. Curious to know if this excites you or terrifies you. So if you haven't, go click that poll in the chat. And just so you know, I've been working the past 10 years in robotics. That's what this photo behind me is. It's a project I worked on, filming the construction of this facility. It's 54 robots building modular homes. And so this is basically what I do full time, is working in the robotics and tech industry. And if you want to follow me, I put my link in the in the chat room as well. This is the first live broadcast, so I'm going to be doing more of these on YouTube. I don't know how often they'll have these live events for humanoids, but I suspect we're going to see more of these type of things. Yeah, somebody says burger flipper jobs are so over. You're probably right. These type of jobs are going to be the first to be automated, not necessarily by humanoids, but by robotics in general. Not every task requires a humanoid robot. Some tasks can be done by just machinery automation and industrial robots. So each task will have a specific robot that it will be assigned. And right here, what we're watching is Figure's version 3 humanoid robot sort packages at their headquarters as a demonstration. They're running for 8 hours straight, and right now they're at 7,511 packages. This is not AI. Okay, so we've been watching for about 90 minutes now. It seems like everyone is split on robotics and the future of humanoids. So we got 2 hours and 13 minutes to go. And yes, Brett Adcock said, he's the CEO, and he said that Figure 4 will be unveiled this year. So this is version 3. Yes, right here, this is the slowest you're ever going to see it, because it's only going to get faster from here on out. So if you want to know the latest on humanoids and robotics, you can go ahead and subscribe. I do cover this more on my LinkedIn page. We reach about 24 million per year on LinkedIn. So this is actually the first live stream that I've done. I thought this would be a good occasion with this 8-hour sort of endurance test that Figure put out. Yeah, so he does mess up, but not that much. If you sit here and watch, you'll see every once in a while the label won't be face down, or the box or a bag will fall on the floor, but it doesn't happen that often. It's pretty consistent. It's pretty good at getting everything turned over. And I'm going to say right now, Figure has the most advanced humanoid in the US right now. There's Tesla with Optimus, but it's not fully autonomous as of yet. It's still teleoperated. And so we're waiting on the next version to see if Elon Musk is going to put out more of a fully autonomous version or his own AI that he's integrated into it. We got Boston Dynamics. They just put out the production model, but we haven't seen really much on the newest version yet. And it's also, again, not fully autonomous like Figure's humanoid is. So Figure uses their own internal AI that they built in-house at their headquarters over in Sunnyvale, California. And it's called Helix. And so everything you're seeing here is fully autonomous. No teleoperation, no remote control. We also got Apptronic. That's another humanoid company based out of Austin, Texas. And that one hasn't reached these kind of levels yet. There's Persona AI. Persona AI is based out of Houston, Texas. And then we have Field AI, which basically, it's not a humanoid company, but it integrates brains into third-party humanoids to make them autonomous. So it gives them the brain for autonomous actions, basically. Okay, I'm back. So we've been streaming now for about 100 minutes, and we're at about 6 hours, 7,740 packages. We've seen the humanoid. I'm not sure how many times it's swapped out, but when the battery gets depleted, it'll swap out with the robots in the background, and the next one will continue its tasks. And so what it's doing is putting the labels upside down, and as you can see, it just missed one, but it doesn't miss them that often. Yeah, so can you imagine 10 years of advancements, how this is going to look? This is just the beginning. Think about how tired a person would be by now after 7,000 packages. 6-hour shift. All right, so is this your first time seeing Figure's robot work autonomously? Okay, so what we're watching here is Figure version 3.0 working out of its headquarters. They're doing a 8-hour working test, showing it work 8 hours straight autonomously, turning packages, putting it face side down so that the labels can be scanned. And here it looks like some sort of recalibration or glitch or switching shifts. Looks some sort of recalibration. And so this is the first time that I've seen a company put an 8-hour live broadcast of their robot working. And I think, this is what people want to see. Where I think everybody's tired of, humanoids doing backflips and jumping around, but yet they can't do dishes. And so everybody wants to have their bed made. Everybody wants the dishes done. They want to see you working in real time, nonstop, without making mistakes. And so here's a real life scenario of witnessing a humanoid robot do real work in a real setting. And so this is in their headquarters, based out of Sunnyvale, California. My opinion, Figure is the most advanced humanoid in the USA right now. Compared to China, we don't have much competition over here. As far as humanoids go, we have Persona AI, we got Tesla, Optimus, we have Digit by Agility Robotics, we have Atlas by Boston Dynamics. Majority of the companies are based out of China, where they have about 200 companies and many different robots, Unitree being the largest company based out of China. But for advanced robotics, Figure is one of the most advanced that we have. Why? Because it can work autonomously, as we see here, non-stop, without remote control, without teleoperation, without human operators. It's working on its own using their own software that they've developed called Helix. And so this is what we're watching. 8,000 packages, 6 hours. And on their stream, they have 1,600 people watching. It's not much. You would think there'd be many more watching something like this, but could just be the day, could just be the week. Sometimes people are not online by the week and everything's slow. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions. I work in the robotics industry. I'm happy to answer. So they're going to be going on till, well, another hour and 50 minutes. Yes, this is 100% fully autonomous. Someone says this is the end of civilization. We'll just have to see. I don't believe it's going to end civilization, but, you know, we've all seen the movies, right? Could there be wars? Yeah, I think humanoids will be used in wars. Unless there's some sort of global pact, humanoids will definitely be used in wars, but same way we have nuclear bombs, and they're used but rarely used. So this is Figure's version 3 model. They will be releasing version 4 sometime this year. Brett Adcock, which is the CEO, he just recently announced, today actually, he teased a photo showing version 4. Let me see if I can pull that up. I can share it with you. Okay, so basically he says he just left the critical design review for version 4. And it's by far the biggest leap we've ever made between robot generations. He says this level of engineering advances in this system is on a completely different level. Says at Figure, engineering reviews are extremely rigorous. We start with high-level architecture reviews and work all the way down to detailed reviews on every millimeter, watt, and gram of the robot. We've engineered something really mind-blowing, and I can't wait to show the world what this team is capable of. So he posted a photo of the team today announcing that version 4 will be released sometime this year. He didn't say this year, actually, but most likely it's coming this year. And so this is version 3. You can only imagine how many more capabilities and much more advanced version 4 is going to be. So keep in mind, this is the slowest you're ever going to see it. Because as these things get more advanced and they come out with their new models, they're going to become faster, more capable. They're going to be pretty much impossible to knock over. They're not going to fall. They're going to work extremely fast. And, you know, you hear people saying, they're so slow, but one day you'll be saying, you know, please slow down. You're moving too fast. So imagine how tired the person would be already turning over 8,000 packages and working on a 6-hour shift nonstop. Is this a job that you want? You can listen to a podcast all day, but you'll be tired by the end of the day, that's for sure. All right, so I put in the chat room my LinkedIn profile. If you want to follow me over there, I post every day on robotics and humanoids. So if you want to keep up with the latest, go ahead and click that link and follow me over there. I'm much more active on LinkedIn. We reach about 24 million people per year over there. So if you want to follow me, click that link in the chat room. So I do work in the robotics industry. I've been working in the robotics industry specifically with industrial robots. This is a photo I took back here of the facility I worked at. And so I did filming for the construction of this facility. It's a 400,000 square foot facility that basically builds modular homes using 56 ABB industrial robots. And so on my channel, if you go back far enough, you can see some of that. And so they build a lot of multifamily homes in California. Okay, someone says, this is a lie. It's not real. I assure you this is 100% real. It's not AI. It's not teleoperated. There is no human intervention whatsoever in this humanoid. And this is the only one of the only ones that can work at this level. There are other companies that are third party developing brains, physical use. So they're developing the brains for humanoid robots so that they can essentially install a brain onto any robot and it could give it full autonomy. One of these companies is called Field AI. And so Field AI develops the brain. They develop the software, the AI, that can be integrated onto a robot like Unitree from China or any other robot, any other humanoid, and they'll start walking autonomously. And so you can send them to an unstructured, never before seen environment, and it will start understanding and learning its environment and navigating on its own. And so you have basically these. So Figure they built their own AI, and so it's working inside of the robot. They're not using any third-party software. They developed their own internal software, and that's what it's operating on, fully autonomous. And so Field AI, they would come in and install their third-party software. So if you look them up, you'll see that Field AI uses Boston Dynamics dogs, spot dogs, and they integrate another software platform on top of it so that the dog can start to see its environment and navigate never before seen unstructured environments for the first time. And so basically, without the integration, the Boston Dynamics dog has to be remote controlled. Someone has to operate it, or you have to pre-program the paths. But with the Field AI brain integration, you don't need an operator. It's fully autonomous. And so that's the difference between Figure, is they're one of the only humanoid companies that has their own AI built in that they developed in-house out of their headquarters in Sunnyvale, California. Yeah, we are living in the future. This is the future. And so what we're witnessing here is Figure's version 3 humanoid robot sort packages, putting the labels upside down on the conveyor. It's working. So this is the first time they've done this. It's going to work for 8 hours straight. It's got about an hour and 40 minutes left. It's already sorted 8,260 packages. No human operators. Okay, so what we're watching here is figure version 3.0. Sort packages. What it's doing is grabbing each package and putting the label face down. This is the first test. It's a 8-hour live broadcast showing it work, fully autonomous. I can't recall any other company doing a test like this. A broadcast like this. Putting it all out there for everyone to see, mistakes and all. And there aren't many mistakes. If you had a mistakes counter, you'd probably see quite a bit of mistakes, but between an 8-hour shift, it's not so bad. So it pretty much works without interruption. There are a few times where it sort of recalibrates, has to get reoriented into a situation, and it starts right back up, but it doesn't take long at all. It gets right back into it. Someone says, is anyone else finding software is noticeably becoming more buggy? Like things just randomly crashing, etc.? I use AI for coding, but I guess everyone else is messing things up. I haven't noticed it getting more buggy. I've seen it pretty consistent. And I follow robotics every single day. Yeah, so I think a lot of us, we see those dancing videos of humanoids, and so to see the robot actually doing real work live, this is what people were waiting for. Someone says, all those backflips in Robot Olympics fake. It's not fake. Chinese humanoids are very advanced when it comes to, doing all sort of acrobatics, but what everyone's lacking is the autonomous capability. And so this is pretty advanced for a humanoid, because it's working fully autonomous on its own. Someone says this is remote operated. It is not. It is not remote operated at all. This is fully autonomous, no teleoperation. Figure has built their own internal AI called Helix. And so, look, if it's fully if it's being remote controlled, the moment they sell it to a customer, they're going to find out that that's not true. So they're not going to put it out there for the world to say this is fully autonomous when it's simply not true. They're not going to be able to hide it for long. They can't have a teleoperator hiding in the factory, remote controlling it all day long. And so I put together a funny video on this. We'll play it another day, though. Someone says, rest in peace, FedEx and UPS workers. Yes and no. Yes and no. It's coming. It is coming. We're not quite there yet, but it is coming. Someone saying, I check in on this thing 2 hours in, now checking in 4.5 later, and its behavior has changed. Okay, let me take a look. Okay, I don't see any behavior change. It's doing the same thing. Is Figure ahead of Tesla now? Someone's asking, is Figure ahead of Tesla? And I would say, without knowing what version, the next version of Optimus is going to look like, I would say yes. But Figure itself, they're about to release version 4. So version 4 Figure, version 3 Optimus better be better than version 4 Figure, if you know what I mean. Right now, Figure is the only one that has full autonomy that they built in-house. Tesla does not have it. They might have it on the next version, but right now Tesla has been mainly teleoperated and remote controlled. And so as of now, Figure is more advanced than Tesla. Unless Tesla comes out with something that blows everyone away and some new technology, Figure is, I would say, ahead of them. And so are Chinese robotics ahead of American humanoids? To a degree in some circumstances. So you won't be able to see Figure doing backflips. I've never seen it doing a backflip. It's mainly made to do upright standing up tasks. Even the video where it showed it walking over rough terrain, uneven, unstructured terrain, it was a little sketchy. But if you watch Chinese robotics, they can do acrobatics. They can flip. They can do all sort of different moves. They can go over unstructured terrain, but they have to be trained to do all that. They can't do it autonomously. And so companies are working on the autonomous capabilities, but so to some degree, Chinese humanoids are more advanced in the acrobatic, entertaining type of stuff they could do, but American humanoids, this is the best I've seen as far as autonomous work goes. So they each have their own degree of capabilities and how advanced they are. Stream's still going on. No, it's not dead. Yeah, so it's got about an hour and a half to go. We're at 8,500 packages. I was saying it was going to hit about 11,500, but it may have slowed down a bit. That means it would have to hit, because there was a point where at the 4-hour mark, yeah, at the 4-hour mark, it was around, I'm forgetting now, I'm forgetting. Actually, I do have it here. Let me check to see if it's slowed down. Okay, so at the 2-hour and 46 mark, we had 3,811 packages. I'm going to tell you just a moment here. 6 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, so it looks like it's staying pretty consistent. So at the 2-hour and 46 minute mark, it had sorted 3,811 packages. So now we're at the 6-hour and 33 minute mark, and it says it at the same rate it should have sorted 8,953 packages, so we're about 400 short. And then at 8 hours, it says it would be at about 11,020 packages. So okay, I'm going to pull up the ppm package per minute. All right, so okay, package per minute. So it's doing about 23 packages per minute. Let me see if this squares. So one package. Yeah, it's saying one package about every 2.6 seconds. So it's probably about right. You can see there's some pauses there. So when it averages out, it's getting about one package every 2.5 seconds. Let me see. Okay, so if it hits 11,050 packages in 8 hours, let's see what the ppm is. Yeah, so about 23 packages per minute. Okay, so let's see what it says in regards to a human. It says I don't know how accurate this is, you know. I'm using AI to check. It does say a human would get about 8,500 to 9,500 packages in an 8-hour shift. And this robot is getting 11,050. So could be true when you factor in, you know, breaks and getting tired and fatigue and all that. I feel like a human can do this in about do about 2 to 3 times faster. So I'm not sure how accurate that is. Yeah, I mean, I think a human can go much faster than this. As of now. So curious to hear your thoughts. What do you all think about this? Is this the future? Are you looking forward to it? Or does it absolutely terrify you? Feel free to answer the poll. I got a poll in the chat room. So by the time it hits 8 hours, we should be at about 11,050 packages sorted. How tired would you be after a shift like this? My guess is pretty tired. Someone asked, is this video on a loop? It is not on a loop. And so we're watching Figure's video. This is a live 8-hour broadcast, not on a loop. And we're going to see a lot more automation, a lot of these robots being put into factory settings. All right, I'm curious to hear what you all think of Figure's humanoid robot. So feel free to leave it in the chat. So we're just sitting here watching the version 3 Figure humanoid robot sort packages for 8 hours live. This is the first live broadcast that Figure has done, showing their robot work autonomously. And no, it's not teleoperated. It's not being operated by a human. Someone says Unitree's Chinese robots can't move their fingers. True on some of them. They do have third-party hands that they can be integrated with. HR jobs out the door. Probably not HR jobs. Not yet. The first things humanoids will go after are warehouse type jobs. This is what the target is. Excuse me. It's better than Chinese robots. That is true. You don't see Chinese robots, humanoids, doing autonomous work often as well, but they are starting to. So it's all sort of going to come together at once. Yeah, and this is what you're going to pay for. You're going to pay for the autonomous capability. The value is in the autonomous capability. The value is not in a hardware that has to be remote controlled. So we are watching the Figure version 3 robot perform various tasks. It's working for an 8-hour shift. It's a live broadcast, first time they've ever done it. And we've got about an hour and 10 minutes to go. It's at 8,900 packages, and it should be ending around 11,050 if my calculations are correct. And that puts it at about 23 ppm, 23 packages per minute. Okay, so it got has a little glitch here. Looks like it has to recalibrate. As you can see, one of the packages fell off the side, and this is probably the longest moment I've seen where it's paused. Should get going right away. There it goes. Basically, what we're watching is just the robot turn the packages over so the label is facing down. And it will stumble every once in a while, but it is pretty impressive. Someone says, our Chinese robot is more efficient. Could be potentially, depending on what it is. Figure's website in the career section lists a robot pilot position where you're expected to stand 8 hours a day. Yes, they do have teleoperators, but this one is working autonomously, but they still do teleoperated when they're working on it in their facilities every once in a while for certain things. Your shop clerks will be replaced by this guy. There will be many jobs that will be replaced. There will be new jobs that we never heard of as well. Did you ever think you could be a live streamer and make a living off of that? Did you ever think you could be an engineer and build certain things? Like SpaceX. This is a real video. This is not an AI video. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here, I think. It's going to go on another hour. I'll check back and see if it ended at 11,000 as it should have. But we've been on for 2 hours now, so I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. And if you haven't already, you can follow me. I post daily on robotics and humanoids, mainly over in LinkedIn, so you can look my link up on my main YouTube page. You should be able to find it there. I'll hang in for a few more minutes here. I got to tell you, the engagement is so low on YouTube. Look at Figure's channel. They have 200,000 subscribers and only 1,500 people watching. You would think that would be much higher, but of course, subscriber count doesn't really matter. So 9,000 packages. I would agree that the Figure robot is better than many of the Chinese robots. My only suggestion on this live stream next time would be to include a mistakes counter, so we can see how many mistakes it makes. It's not many, especially in an 8-hour shift. No, they are not plugged in. The battery lasts for 5 hours. Probably they're not draining it all the way on these because they don't want it to deplete in a live broadcast, so they're gonna finish it up earlier. I like how they have the background one walking by over and over. Someone says they have to get rid of that motorcycle helmet. It just doesn't look right indoors. You know, I'd say for an industrial setting, it doesn't really matter, but for a home setting, many people are not going to like that look, in my opinion. So they're going to have to change the faceplate for home. $1,300 packages an hour. It's about right. About 23 packages per minute. So yes, the figure humanoid is probably one of the most advanced humanoids right now. And the reason being is because this is one of the few that has the fully autonomous capabilities where it can work on its own. Most of them have to be remotely controlled or teleoperated, human operated, even the Chinese ones. So those have to be trained. They can train it how to do the dances. They train it how to do certain things, and then it can mimic what it's been trained. But they don't have the full autonomous capability yet. And so Figure is one of the only ones that I know of. There are others out there, but they have full autonomous capability with the AI that they built, the in-house, called Helix. And there are third-party companies that develop physical brains to enable autonomous capability. Field AI, Scout AI. Scout AI is mainly in defense. Overland AI, Skilled AI. Field AI does construction, so they put autonomous brains onto Boston Dynamics Spot robot dogs. Without that, they have to have a pre-programmed path or be remotely controlled, and the value is not there without the autonomy. So the autonomy is what gives it the value. So you're going to spend a lot of money on these compared to a Chinese robot, which is remote controlled. Basically, it's a remote control car, essentially. So got about 57 minutes. So this is not AI. This is not remotely controlled. This is not teleoperated. This is the first live broadcast that you've seen Figure do for an 8-hour stretch. And that's a pretty bold move by a company to put it all out there, mistakes and all, for 8 hours straight. Because if it fails, all the investors are watching. So they're putting a lot on the line by doing this, but they must feel pretty confident that it's going to work nonstop all day to be able to do something like this. Imagine if it falls over mid-live stream and they have to stop the live stream. Yeah, that wouldn't look good. That would look terrible. So they must have been pretty confident to be able to do an 8-hour broadcast like this. $9,000 packages is quite a bit. 7 hours. Imagine how tired you would be. Yep, so about one package every 2.5 seconds. That's about the average. It's about 23 packages per minute, about 1,300 packages per hour. Yeah, this robot is completely autonomous. No teleoperators, no remote control, no human operators. This is one of the few companies that is actually autonomous. This is Figure AI. This is version 3. They're based out of Sunnyvale, California. The CEO is Brett Adcock. And they built their own in-house AI called Helix. And so it gives it fully autonomous capabilities to do tasks like this. This is one of the only humanoids out there that have this. There are others doing it, but very few in between. Mostly what you used to see in China, those are all teleoperated. And the dances you see, those are all choreographed. They're trained. So what else you see is companies that are integrating a third-party brain into their robot because they didn't build the AI themselves. And so that's the differentiator with Figure, is that they built their own AI called Helix. And so this is one of the few companies that did that. So you got one shift, 10,000 packages. Imagine placing 50 of these in a building. This is Figure's version 3. And so Brett Adcock is planning on potentially releasing version 4 this year. And so the capabilities are it's going to be much more advanced. He says it's unlike anything we've ever seen. Okay, so what we're watching here is figure version 3, autonomously sort packages, putting the labels upside down for 8 hours straight. It's the first live broadcast that figure's done, where they're putting it out there for the world. All right, so I'm gonna end it here. We've been streaming for about 3 hours now, and everyone have a good night. If you haven't already, and if you want to know daily about what's happening out there on robotics and humanoids, I do post daily, specifically on my LinkedIn page. So go ahead and follow me over there. All right, so have a good night.